Okay, hello everybody. My name is Renee Jaworski. I've been wanting to do this for so long. I haven't had any time to do it. I've been doing other stuff, as everybody knows. But here's the situation: is that everyone knows I'm a huge Monkees fan. I'm absolutely crazy. I am truly rabid and fanatic and all of the crazy obsessive things that you can imagine. I used to watch Monkees on the DVDs back in the day, nonstop, over and over again, in the background at my house, so that when people came to my house, they knew exactly what they were getting into. And there was just always going to be Monkees episodes everywhere. And I would talk about Monkees episodes with anybody and anyone who would listen. I used to talk about it with clients and with people that I was helping and with friends and with family nonstop. When I was a little kid, MTV brought back the original Monkees episodes and played them on MTV. And after school, I got to see them. And I still remember everything about those experiences. And I remember thinking how old the guys look, especially Mike Nesmith. He looked really old, okay, because I was so little. That's how long the Monkees have been with me. I am obsessed with the Monkees. I am writing a Peter Tork biography. I am obsessed. Okay, so now that we've established that I'm sufficiently obsessed and all of you understand that, I decided to bring it to, hey, I can do a TV show about Monkees episodes. This is something that feeds me. It's fun for me. And I hope that you guys are going to get something out of it. If you're not a Monkees fan, you should still stay tuned because I think it's going to be hilarious for you. In fact, it might be even funner if you're not a Monkees fan and you have no idea what the heck is going on, because this content is truly outrageous. It is crazy. It is insane. It is off the chain. Everything that the Monkees did is still relevant and still shocking. To be honest, it is absurd. It is ridiculous. It is hilarious. It is immature and mature at the same time. And these guys are absolutely fabulous. To me, this was my Beatles. Okay. and I don't know. I mean, I love the Beatles. All right, I love the Beatles. Anyways, the first one I want to start off with is not the pilot episode, which is called Royal Flush. It's actually the Monstrous Monkees Mash, which is from season 1. There were only 2 seasons of the Monkees. Can you believe it? That's how iconic they are, that we're still talking about the Monkees, and they only had 2 seasons of the TV show, but they are iconic and have become so much bigger than the TV show, of course. But the Monstrous Monkee Mash is something that gets stuck in my head all the time. There's different scenes from this that I'm always quoting with friends of mine. Monkees fans love this episode, and I think that whether or not you already are aware of the Monkees, you're going to get a lot out of this episode. So, see, I'm so excited I can't even talk. Let's start running some of the tape, and I'm just going to say whatever comes to my mind, okay? This is extemporaneous. There's so much to say about this episode. Every scene there's something to say. Okay, so we start here. This is the Monstrous Monkee Mash, and this is a stock footage almost that they've used in a number of episodes. You'll recognize it from other Monkees episodes. When they do this, that's when you know that something crazy is going to happen. Something very monstrous is going to happen. Something eerie and creepy is going to happen. All right. So what is happening with this one? Oh boy.
Gee, Lorelei, when you said you lived by the water, I didn't think you meant a swamp.
Okay, so that's a thing that Davey does a lot. I don't really understand it. A lot of times he insults the girls that he has crushes on. Her name is Lorelei, because she's creepy. And he ends up at this crazy mansion, and you're gonna see what happens to him. What happens to him is that he gets kind of seduced by her, as Davey always does. We know that Davey always gets seduced by the women, and he always tries to seduce the women. He's the ladies' man. Okay. Um, Lorelei has somebody that she calls her uncle. Okay, we're gonna find out it's not really her uncle. Look at this guy. Uh, he, he looks kind of like Frankenstein. I'm not really sure why he's green. I think he's a vampire. Let's remember. But she kisses him, and when she kisses him, where is that? When she kisses him, she ends up putting him in a state of this. He becomes catatonic, okay? Her kiss is so magical and so powerful that it renders him totally catatonic. And that's the face that Davy Jones makes when he's catatonic. And she also used this magic necklace to help to put a spell on him or whatever. Now we have the iconic Monkee theme song, which everybody knows. And I love this scene because They have a bed. They have Davy in the bed, and they're in their pajamas. And of course, they're going across down there in LA. Hilarious. All right. James Frawley, of course, you should Google him. Please Google James Frawley. It's directed by him. He directed a lot of these episodes. All right. So Davy goes missing. And of course, the guys, because they're all like obsessed with each other, they live together, they are destitute. When they find out that Davy is not there, look, they're in their PJs because they all sleep together and they're all friends and they have sleepovers all the time because that's how bands are supposed to be. And in my mind, that, like the Beatles help, that to me is a band. If you're not all sleeping together and loving together and living together and eating together, and if you're not worried, look at their faces. I mean, they are really worried about where Davy is. If you're not that worried when one of your band members goes astray, you're not really in a band. And that's what I still believe. Okay. Look at the bunny on Peter, by the way. Of course he has a bunny. Like, that makes sense. And he even has the sleeping cap. Do people wear sleeping caps? I don't know why you would. That seems like it would get hot. Okay. So let me see if I can play this part here. This is very funny. So Mike goes to inquire about where Davy is, and this is what happens.
Hey, listen, Davey should have been back by now, guys. I'm scared.
Oh, don't worry. I got a telephone number where we can reach him. I'll call him.
I think Davey's in trouble. We better go help him.
So that's how they know he's in trouble. And I love the way that Nesmith dials him, just like really absently. That's how he dials. That's hilarious. I think that's so great. But anyways, what if you called someone who had your band member and you hear that laugh? Oh, and why did the vampire answer the call? I mean, he was like expecting it, I guess. But we're going to find out why. I think that the vampire wants the rest of the guys to show up. Let's find out. So they do show up, of course, and the look on Peter's face tells you everything you need to know. They're not happy to be there, but again, this is a very loyal band. There's a lot of cohesion, and so it makes sense to them that they would go looking for him, and they're willing to die for him because again, they're in a rock band, and they should be. Okay, so they get inside, and there's a haunted knight's suit there. I muted it by accident. I was so excited. All right. Now, one by one, this is a painting. They think it's a painting, but of course it's Lorelei and I forget this vampire's name. They're just pretending. They're just spying on them and pretending to be a portrait. And it totally makes sense to the band. I mean, they're a little suspicious, but it all seems to check out with them. Here, I want to play Peter's encounter with a fake bat. He, of course, plays the Harpo Marx role. He's the quote unquote dummy. So he's always the last to figure things out, and it's for our comedic enjoyment.
I want to sip your blood.
Much better.
It had initially said, I want to drink your blood, and he said to use your manners. So then he said, I want to sip your blood, and he said, that's much better. So he's training the pet bat, and he's training it to be more polite, which is hilarious. Okay. Now, they're scared because they're alone in a haunted place, even though they're not sure exactly what's going on. They haven't been able to identify Davy. They can't find him anywhere. They can't get any answers. And they're getting a little creeped out because it's the middle of the night. Okay. And of course, they're continually being watched by these guys who still have them convinced that that's a portrait. I don't know. The guys might have been smoking something. In fact, I know for a fact they were smoking something. Okay, well, they decide that they're going to go off and start to look for him. And of course, this is one of those things where they can't get through a door. I love this physical comedy. It's just so great. They can never get through a door. I love that they have that. Just a little part in almost every episode, I think. They just can't fit through a door. And it makes total sense. When I was watching this as a kid, it made sense. When I was watching it as an adult, it made sense. Of course, they can't open the door anymore. And of course, they both have to go out concurrently. It makes sense.
After all, what has Dracula ever done for you? All those pictures you've made together.
Okay, so now we found out where Davy is. Davy has been taken to an underground dungeon or a lair, and he's with the wolf man, like a werewolf. And Davy's going to use his brain to escape. And what he realized, because this is Hollywood, is that he could explain to the werewolf that he hasn't been cast properly and that his management is trying to take advantage of him. So he's trying to explain to the werewolf that he can be greater and demand more in Hollywood. And he's getting the werewolf all worked up in order that he can set him free. Now, Peter is up here and he's tinkering around. And of course, because he's playing the role of the dummy, he's always kind of, bull in a china shop, and he's messing everything up. Then Lorelei finds him and wants to kiss him. He struggles at first, but then decides that it's okay, that he's going to kiss her. What happens when you kiss Lorelei with the necklace? See, she's putting the necklace around. Of course, you go catatonic again. And then the Wolfman has to come and take poor Peter out. I don't know who's playing the Wolfman, but it's very funny. And the werewolf is there to watch it all. Okay, now we find out. So they take care of Peter. Now we come, and this is a very sad moment here. Let me see if I can play it.
Come on, let's go look in the library. Okay, you and me.
Peter, he's gone. Maybe we make it a duet?
No.
If you get lost, I'll be a single.
Here I come,
Mickey.
walking down the street. I get the funniest looks from all the people I meet.
Mickey.
I am a monkey.
Mickey.
Okay, so that's sad, right? Because of course that's exactly what happened. That's what happened, is that we lost all of the Monkees, Davy and then Peter and then Michael Nesmith. And so now we are just left with Mickey Dolenz. And I always think of that scene. It's very sad to me, but it's okay because they have a good sense of humor about it, because they're fun, because of the Monkees, and they're still lighting up the world and giving fun and enjoyment to all of us. So thank you again to the Monkees and everyone behind the Monkees machine all of these decades, because you're still bringing us joy all these years later. All right, let's get back and find out what's going on, because now we have two Monkees that have disappeared. First Davy, and we know he's chained in the basement, and now Peter is gone. Who knows what happened to him? But I think our heroes, Nesmith and Dolenz here, are gonna figure it out. So let's see. Next, they find a secret door and they go through it. However, Mickey goes off the trail and Lorelei finds him. So what's going to happen to Mickey? Come on, you already know. He ends up kissing her, getting catatonic. And now here's Mike. Mike is all alone. He's kind of walking around. He's going to get into some trouble, of course.
Wow! Is it scary down here?
And Nesmith said that he likes to say the word scary with scary because it comes from an old-timey actor that he really looked up to. And you can Google who that is. He mentions it, I think, probably in his memoir. But yeah, so I always love that. It's getting scary down here. That was a conscious choice. Of course, Mike Nesmith is from Texas, but he kind of puts it on a little bit extra there. I love Mike Nesmith. Then he finds this sarcophagus, and there's a there's a mummy in there who did not want to be disturbed. So Nesmith, with very good etiquette, apologizes, closes it, and continues his search. Now we go back and look, the roles have reversed. And of course, Lorelei and the vampire it makes sense to them. They totally accept that Mike Nesmith is a new painting in their house that they just never saw before. And it makes total sense. So there he is. And now he's the portrait. Now we go back. And of course, two of the boys are down in the basement. So the troubles keep multiplying, right? This is Davy. This is Davy and the wolf.
One more word, then I will bite you in the neck. Oh. Hey, listen, what happens to the girl? You know, in the movies where the girl goes through and the Dracula man fights with her. Wait a minute. Wait.
Okay, so this is what the Monkees always did, right? This is one of the campy, fun things that the Monkees was really good at, is they would always bring the audience in and behind the scenes so that nowadays we have a lot of that. We have reality TV and social media. And so there's a lot more of that where fans feel like they're more involved in what's going on with their icons or the celebrities' lifestyle. But back then they didn't have it to that degree. So how cool is it that you see Davy now and he's dressed up like the vampire, and Mickey's dressed up like the werewolf now, and they're talking about the humor behind how funny the humor behind how funny it is, what happens in these movies, and how the pretty girls come in and they actually deconstruct for the audience what they are already doing. How fun is that? It's just so cool. It's one of the reasons why they're so endearing. They do a lot of riffing. They do a lot of improv, a lot of riffing, a lot of funny stuff. Now you find out that they're trying to reanimate someone. The details of the plot never matter with the Monkees. In fact, I always forget the plot. It's always about a second by second situation and the absurdity of what's going on. So now Mike is dressed up as a mummy. I forget why. Does it matter? I don't really know. This is when Mike says this iconic line. He says, save the Texas prairie chicken. Okay. And there's a button on his head that even says that. Let's just scroll along. We are almost done here. There's going to be a romp. In fact, I think we just skipped one of the romps for copyright reasons. I'm not going to play the romps, but of course the Monkees always have a romp or two where they play a Monkee song and they do like a mini music video, which of course Mike Nesmith goes on to kind of found MTV. He kind of becomes one of the first people to really play around in the medium of music video after this later in his career. And the Monkees romps is, an early foreshadowing of that. Everything is just getting crazy. But you know what? At the end, everything is fine. All of these episodes end with everything being fine. And they're going to end it all here. And I just want to put this up here. Where is it? Okay, yes, David Jones. This is when they still credited him as David Jones. In fact, Mickey still calls him David. All right, so this is the end. And what I want to say is if you haven't watched any of the Monkees episodes, now hopefully you'll be inspired to go in. YouTube has them. You can just watch them for free. You don't have to get, any subscription or anything like that. You can go in and you can just binge watch them. They're short, they're sweet, they're funny, they're crazy, they're zany, they're wild. And I'm so glad that they're out there and they've inspired countless artists to do countlessly crazy things. So let me know what you think about it. Give me some feedback. And if you are already a Monkees fan, let me know if anything I said resonated with you and why you like the Monkees and what speaks to you about the Monkees. And if you weren't a Monkees fan, do you feel any more attracted to them or any more interested in figuring out about the Monkees Mania that has been gripping this entire globe for decades upon decades upon decades? Let me know. Reach